Welcome back to FilmFloggers. We review films and flog dead horses, so you don't have to. Is this week's film choice a complete waste of your viewing time? Much like flogging/beating dead horses, get it? Please head over to www.filmfloggers.com to check out all of our previous floggings. And while you're there, maybe hang out for a while, look around and vote for our next film. Click on vote, or visit www.filmfloggers.com/vote. Are you an idiot? If so, please check out our Idiot's Guide to Reviewing Us, where even a big dummy like you can leave us a red-hot review. Here at FilmFloggers, we pride ourselves on offering 1-star content with 5-star effort. Once on the website, please click on Idiot's Guide, or visit us at www.filmfloggers.com/review-us. That should have been Idiot's Guide. My fault, I didn't change the URL. Annoying. Once again, filmfloggers.com/review-us. Believe it or not, we now have a Patreon. I know what you're thinking. You have the audacity to ask us to pay to receive more of this. Pause for dramatic effect. Yes. We have a Patreon exclusive show called Nitpickers. I think you'll like it. Please visit www.filmfloggers.com/support-us. Again, that hyphen is annoying, should have removed it. Or head straight to our Patreon page. Patreon.com/filmwafflers. No idea why I did film wafflers. Another mistake. Where you can support us for as little as £1 British or $1.50. And while you're on the website, punch that big purple subscribe button and tell a friend about the vlog. Wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, mistress, your nan, granddad, your kids. They can tell their friends. They can tell their friends at school about the vlog. But in all seriousness, this really helps the podcast grow and enables us to enrich or ruin the lives of the hundreds of millions of earlobes we haven't reached yet.
All right, so shall I put a timer on as well to get a sense of what we're doing? Right, first 5 minutes, director, yada, yada, yada. Should we make a start?
Yeah.
So should we do 3, 2, 1, then set the timer?
We can have a couple of minutes of rambling if you want to. Like, we can have like 1 or 2 minutes of just going like, hi, and then going like, right, okay. This is Tom's, first attempt at 15 minutes of flog,
All right.
A little bit of a ramble, and then we go, right, timer starts now.
Okay, fine, right. All right, okay. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. We're doing the Hills of Eyes today, and it's very exciting because this is my first 15-minute episode attempt.
Yes.
I think you've done a couple with Fiona, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried, yeah.
Which is an interesting format, actually. I mean, where did it come from? Where did you get the idea for that?
Well, I think it was just trying to get more content out. I was aware that just wasn't really, trying to get an episode out a week, which is fine. But we've kind of discussed it with newer films as well, that I'm just not, am I going to sit there and watch the Suicide Squad? Well, maybe, at a push, but am I going to sit there and watch it and then go, right, I must do an hour review on that? It's not,
agreed.
I'm struggling to do episodes as it is. So it's just like, how can I watch more films, have an excuse to watch more films, maybe ones that I wouldn't watch, or I wouldn't watch to review, and do episodes on them, but not in an hour. So, mate, 15 minutes of vlog. Just another genius idea from myself.
Yeah, it is. It's genius. Nothing short of. I mean, you said you did things like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think that's coming out, isn't it? And
yes, that's the first one. Yeah, that'll be the first one to receive the treatment.
Interesting. That'll be an interesting reception because I suspect not everyone will share your dislike of Broderick.
Might be a little bit controversial.
For some reason, people like that.
Yeah, it's difficult because with that, in 15 minutes, it was just going, yeah, Matthew Broderick and Ferris are gross,
unbearable.
Yeah. So it was tricky. It was the first one as well. So learning it, and obviously for me, it's very difficult because I do like to waffle. That's kind of the joke. I do like to go on a bit, and it's hard for me just to condense my words and my thoughts. Yeah, I think that one is probably not a great start, potentially. You may, unfortunately, need, maybe half an hour. You don't need an hour.
Well, it's a good indicator of what you're getting on the channel. I mean, if you're not going to get a sort of Ferris Bueller fan club. I mean, when I watched it, I had a friend at school who had it on DVD, and he just loved it. He thought it was great. He was like, it's classic. It's timeless. I was like, this guy's utterly objectionable. This guy's unbearable, actually. And by the end, he's sort of doing all this dancing in the street, carnival arrangement.
Yeah, it's hideous. Yeah, it's hideous.
It is really hideous.
After doing the review, I listened back to it. I was like, well, yeah, maybe I should have briefly mentioned. I can see why people would have seen it as like Ferris, showing Cameron a good time. He's very stressed for a young man. He's got lots of problems, and Ferris has just gone out of his way to show Cameron, just live a little. Have a day off. Take the Ferrari. What's the big deal? It's that. Didn't mention that, but it's the end of the day.
Ugh.
I just, Yeah, mate. Anyway, that's the Ferris Bueller episode. We're not here to waffle. And this is 15 minutes of vlog. We need to get to it. Yeah.
Well, all right. So Hills of Eyes, 2006 remake. Shall we make a start then on 15 minutes? Okay. All right.
Are you ready?
All right. Ready? Right. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. Hills of Eyes, 2006. So directed by Alexandre Aja, I think.
That's the one. Yeah.
The name.
Yep.
Okay. Very much known for I believe it's called the New French Extremity Movement.
All right. Yeah.
Or a contribution to High Tension back in the early 2000s, 2003 maybe.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Quite a young man when he made that, but showcasing how he had the capacity to make some pretty nasty, out there stuff, taking risks. I like that film. What do you think? High Tension, Switchblade Romance?
Yeah, really good, yeah. The beginning of like I don't know, was it like the French New Wave and horror,
yeah,
that kind of thing? That was labelled as that. A bit of P2. Do you remember P2?
P2. Did he do that after?
That was after High Tension, yeah. An odd one, that P2, because we did that sort of late at night randomly a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We watched the film, and I think we were going to do an episode. We're like, let's get an episode going. I'm not sure why we didn't just watch Hills of Eyes.
Yeah, great. Yeah, no, I think it was because we were worried about not doing the Hills of Eyes justice.
Yes, that must have been it. Yeah. So I think P2 was like the next on the list that we hadn't seen. Looked kind of interesting. Yeah, it was okay. It's all right. It was.
P2. It had the nastiness. It had the same kind of vibe in the same way as High Tension, Switchblade Romance used to interchangeably. I think it's two titles, but yeah, it has that kind of like one character's completely unhinged, and then I think he went on to do this. 2006.
Yeah.
Then he did Mirrors.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that, but
which is when he kind of went into the supernatural a bit with Mirrors. With is it Kiefer Sutherland's in that? It's a bit of a.
Going from High Tension to watching Kiefer Sutherland just look in mirrors. It's a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so maybe it is. It's fine, but.
No, it's a bit of a step down. I think he starts drifting at that point into that supernatural stuff, which isn't quite as good.
He's got a few stinkers, hasn't he? He did Piranha 3D, which I think is silly, but it's fun. I think it went down reasonably well with the 3D stuff, and yeah,
I quite like Piranha 3D.
He did that
Horns.
Oh,
yeah, never saw that.
To be fair,
Daniel Radcliffe
I tried to watch that once back at uni with a gentleman who I used to house with, and that got about half hour in, and I was like, I'm going to have to leave.
Right.
Bad film, bad company. Just I'm off.
Just all around a bad experience.
Yeah. So didn't look too good. I wasn't impressed.
Interesting, right? So Horns Ben didn't like Horns. Ninth Life. So he's done a film, The Ninth Life of Louis Drax, which I think has it's got old Jamie Dornan in. I mean, the poster alone looks like a total 180 from Arya, and we've got some people looking out into water. What's going on there?
His most recent film, maybe second most recent film, Crawl with the alligator. No, is it?
Yeah,
Crocodile
or whatever. I didn't actually see that. You said it was good. I heard it was good.
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, the CGI's reasonable. Like I wasn't.
Effective.
Yeah, it was good. There was a couple of decent moments in it. I think it's pretty well put together.
And then most recently, Oxygen for Netflix.
Oh right. Oh, I've not.
Did you see Oxygen?
I haven't seen that. No.
Well, it's basically about a woman who's drifting through space. Actually, no. Do we know she's in space at the beginning? No, we don't. Sorry.
Oh, spoiler. Oh,
sorry. There's a spoiler.
We should say actually on 15 minutes of vlog. I always forget on FilmFloggers, but it's spoilers. There's always spoilers.
Oh, it's a spoiler fest.
This one will be spoiler heavy.
And it's basically one of these. Woman is in this kind of it looks almost like some kind of futuristic recovery little pod where she's locked in, and it's almost like in hospitals in where whatever point in time we're at. People who are like convalescing or whatever basically go in put in like a coma in one of these pods. So she's in one of those. She can't get out. It seems like someone's locked her in. And then it turns out, she's basically, firing herself through space. It didn't work as well for me, but, good. He's a deft hand. He's good. He's a good filmmaker.
Solid, isn't it? Solid list. A couple of duds, but solid. It's
Agreed.
I think he makes interesting films on the whole.
He does, 100%. Do we need to talk about the cast members?
Right. What have we? Oh, so we got 30 seconds before we get into the meat of the review.
Ted Levine.
Yes. Yeah. Actors. Yeah. Ted Levine. Yeah.
Kathleen Quinlan. I think her name, Apollo 13.
Apart from Ted Levine, I don't. That's it, isn't it? I don't.
No idea.
I don't know anyone else.
Well, the bloke who plays Doug, who I think makes this film for me, he's called Aaron Stanford. Never heard of him. Never seen him since. I think he's brilliant.
No, he's good. Yeah, very good.
Really good.
Yeah. What have we got for it in terms of like a quick synopsis of this? A family, a nice family vacation, going through the New Mexico desert.
Yeah, that's it.
Are besieged by another family of cannibals.
Cannibals, yeah. Sort of deformed cannibals from the hills.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So we're into the meat. We're into the meat of the review. The Hills
Okay,
of Eyes.
right.
So it's a remake, isn't it? Did we mention that it's a remake? Wes Craven.
We didn't, but
Right.
yeah, it is.
Have you seen
Wes
the
Craven
original?
remake. I haven't seen. I've seen bits.
Right.
I've seen bits.
I was going to watch it. I was like, I should watch it. And I watched bits on YouTube, and I was like, I think I'm getting what I need from these clips. It's it's 1977. It's older. It's a bit more silly.
Well, they always say with as they do with a lot of Wes Craven films. Wes Craven.
You're crazy for Craven.
Yeah. Well, they say that they are, all of his films have this subtext, and supposedly the subtext of Hills of Eyes, which I think the critics of the remake, have a problem with, is that the original supposedly towed the line between being this thing about who's the civilized ones, the family who have been preyed upon by the mutants, or is it in fact the mutants? Because whenever the family then kind of retaliates, there's then the blurring of lines between who is the real. I don't know how you get to that, to be honest.
Well,
but yeah, supposedly that was the subtext.
Well, it's seen again, isn't it, in this one, in the 2006 one. I don't know if the first one, the original, was a little bit more political in its message.
I think so. I think
in and around that time, so it's post-Vietnam and it's in the 70s. And as I said, I didn't watch it, so I can't really get too much into it. But you don't look at the cannibal family, you don't really feel sorry for them. You're not going like, to be fair, it's not, they've got to live as well. With this, it sets it up because you've got the opening with all the nuclear blowout and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, right, okay, that looks pretty grim, Christ. And you get the opening crawl with like 1962, the government did this, and some families just didn't want to leave their homes. This is the aftermath, and then you see them, the guy that has Matt going around the desert, and they get attacked. You're like, oh Christ, what the fuck's happened to them? Jesus, that looks terrible. Not for 1 second are you going like, do I feel bad for the cannibals? Are they just trying to get by with the family? They had their homes literally blown away from them. They're just trying to live as well. They got to eat. What are they supposed to do?
But I think the reason why you feel that way is because of, and we'll have to talk about it, the fact that, that scene that is ultimately like the turning point for everyone. It's the moment where a lot of the characters do quite dramatic sort of changes in their like morals, and old Doug goes from being like this pacifist who won't touch a gun into this axe wielding beast basically, and it's because it's such a hard hitting scene, the sort of invasion on the camper van and all the other stuff that's going on, that it does serve as a really kind of powerful turning point for everyone. And I think almost part of the reason why it hits so hard is because there is such a slow build. I mean, actually, the opening scene where the guys doing the testing of the wildlife is almost out of place a little bit, because it's a slightly naff cliche horror movie intro where you just got like some guys getting attacked by an axe wielding mutant. But it's quite effective. But I think in the context of the rest of the film, it's probably one of the weaker parts of this. I think
the opening,
the opener, yeah.
I was thinking when I was watching, I was like, is this dragging a tad? I understand that we're building up the tension, but it's not. We've kind of seen in the opener, we've kind of seen what we're dealing with without seeing their face. There's no tension for me really being built up, other than the family are going to be having a blowout pretty bloody soon. So I wouldn't say it dragged, but I don't think I needed like 40 minutes of just the build-up to then finally see the face of the cannibals. And oh my Christ, it's well done when it happens in the camper van when the girl's getting attacked. God, here we go. Right, now this is going to be ramped up a notch. And you don't get a lot from the cannibals, do you? I know you don't. No. In some ways, you don't really need any backstory, because you get the crawl, you get the opening thing, so you know what's happened. But all you're getting from these cannibals is that wobbly head man just in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
Like some blob just going like, lizard, kill the baby.
He serves as like control, doesn't he? This bloke whose head's basically hanging off the back of his wheelchair.
Yeah, that guy's controlling proceedings. Yeah, he's orchestrating this from that wheelchair with his head fucking almost touching the floor.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's fine. And again, you probably don't want a lot of exposition. I think we say it before, how things get ruined when you don't know what's happening. Me and Fiona did Wreck. That last 10 minutes of that Wreck is just some of the best 10 minutes ever.
It is,
and it's so good because you just don't know what's going on, and you don't want to know what's going on, other than like a few bits of clippings and stuff. It's like that's what you want. You sort of touched upon it, but I guess the fact that Doug and Bob, the juxtaposition of them, you've got Bob, this like. I think the character in the original is pretty much the same. This strong, like man's man, conservative, patriotic, all this kind of stuff. Will protect his family at all costs. Then next to Doug,
Well, he's very much like the modern man. Like, he works in a telephone company. You know, he's all about the phone. He's wondering about getting signal. He's a pacifist, doesn't like guns.
He's being babied by his wife. He's,
Exactly.
Doug, what about the sun hat? Put the sun hat on. What are you doing? Have you got water?
It's all very precious, yeah.
This anti-gun, like, oh no, I'd shoot my own foot off. It's all that, isn't it? It's the conservative versus like the liberal guy, and you're like, well, there's no way this Doug guy is going to be able to clean up it. When old Bob gets burnt, you're like, well, that's where they're going from here. There's no way Doug's going to be able to clean up and go and get the baby back. So I guess having those two next to each other is like, it's for full effect, isn't it?
It is.
You need that, really. And also the relationship with the dad and son-in-law, father-in-law, you get all that dynamic as well, don't you? Which is about right.
I think it's a really good portrayal of the family. I think it's like the interactions between them and all the different, all the little things that come out from that. I think that's all very well covered. But then, I think one of the things that works here is that Alexandre Aja, as we've explained from his earlier films, he's not afraid. He's not shying away from slightly controversial subject matter. I mean, he's not squeamish, and that's what works so well here. I mean, every single blow land of the axe, that attack on the trailer, it really hits hard. And whenever he then totally switches and he basically goes on this kind of rampage to look for his baby, and he finds a little village that all the cannibals live in. I mean, there's some really like nasty kills there, where it's not shying away.
Well, saying that, talking about nasty kills, did you not unfortunately have to watch the cut version of this, which is a shame? If
you're going to watch this, don't rent it off Amazon, because whatever copy they've got up there is some kind of cut, slimmed down version, where basically one of the most upsetting parts for me was the scene where Doug acts as the guy who's got the shotgun when he's hiding behind the car. In the original, you see he's got the axe in this guy's back, and he's twisting it around, blood spraying out.
Oh, yeah.
Totally cut away.
Oh, wow.
And then we get straight in the eye. We didn't see any of that in the cut I had. Very disappointing.
Well, that's why you have to own the uncut DVD.
Yeah, well, you've got to have it on DVD.
Who hasn't got the uncut DVD of The Hills of Ice remake? If you haven't, you're a clown.
Yeah.
You're not a film connoisseur, are you?
No.
So really that's what you get, unfortunately. Well, mate, we're running out of time. What else have we got for us?
Well, no, it's...
Any more about the cannibals? Did you not want to mention Ted Levine?
Ted Levine, yeah.
What do you think?
He's very good. Well, he's in Heat, isn't he?
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's in... What else?
Well, he's good, isn't he? Yeah, of course, Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill, of course.
Shutter Island, he pops up in.
Yeah.
He's been around the block.
Pair of Hands.
Yeah, he's good.
But even the younger kids, the teenage children, like they're good in it as well. I mean, both of them are good.
Everyone's got to adapt, haven't they? They've got to. You think there's no way they're going to get through this with Doug, with the kids, and well, fair enough. Like they're just teenagers, early like 20s. Like it's grim, but I think that's done well. Other than right at the end when I think they think they've done it, and he comes back and they just go right, let's get out of here. It's like, well, sorry, where are you going?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you heading to?
Yeah, it's bloody good. I think for me, just to summarise what I think good about this film, I think basically...
Oh, mate, hang on, 5 more seconds. You make anything else before the 30 seconds? Oh, yeah, anyway, right, yeah, countdown time, let's go. What have you got?
Countdown time, right. So I think probably for me, it's a nasty horror film, which is good. All the kills hit hard. Characters go through genuinely profound and believable change. Great performances. I think the tension's built up really nicely at the beginning. Give it a watch.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's about right, isn't it? Yeah, I think a little bit more time with the cannibals, maybe for me, just
maybe, but then
tiny bit more backstory, but then fine. Very good, gory. Give it a watch.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Whoa, mate, and breathe.
Do we like have a bit of chat at the end?
Well, we can have well, so just the premise is that at the end, you can't talk about the film. So we've had our 15 minutes. You can go around it, but you can't talk about the meat of the film because that has gone.
Right.
You say.
Right. Okay.
So we can have a rundown and just a not final thoughts, but just mate, just whatever you want. Good film. I was a little bit concerned that it wasn't going to hold up.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's a lot better than the original. But it's hard to compare the two. They're very different. Different eras, different times. Saying that, this was off the back of The Last House on the Left, which is pretty fucking explosive from Wes Craven.
Sorry, do you mean
the original?
Do you mean the original Hills of Ice came after The Last House on the Left? It did, didn't it? Yeah, Last House on the Left is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty full on.
It's full on, yeah. Video nasty, wasn't it?
Was it one of the nasty
banned and all sorts of stuff, and I think maybe that's what was getting done with the original Hills of Ice, but I think it got toned down a little bit. I think the message changed a little bit, maybe. I know we touched upon briefly the political stuff and the message that Wes was trying to get from that. But anyway, you know, I've got to be careful. Can't talk too much about it because obviously the reviews are
you
over
can't
you.
talk
So.
about the film, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got any more.
I think that was probably about right, wasn't it? I think 15 minutes for that. I think you could have done a 45-minute episode on that. It's a good film, so you could have waxed lyrical about various bits and bobs, but I think 15 minutes is decent.
I think that's about right.
Yeah, Aja, yeah, he's doing the business.
He knows what he's doing. It's a deft hand.
I need to watch his Oxygen film. I haven't seen it.
No, you don't.
Oh.
No, don't watch that.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's like obviously it's like reasonably well made, but it's just, I mean, fuck me. Like at the end, it literally turns into. I'll turn this recording off.
Yeah. Well, you know, say goodbye, Tom. You know, Christ.
Oh right. Oh yes, of course. So yes, thank you very much for that, Ben. I enjoyed the 50-minute.
Well, you know, what did you think of the new format? What do you think?
The format. Well, it takes a bit of getting used to, I think, and I think I need to structure my sort of my points probably, you know, in line with how we do it.
Yeah. Well, I think
it worked.
We had planned on doing this as a full length. We just sort of been nattering this morning, so we just thought, do you know what? Let's give it a go. I think I'd always prefer, especially if it's me and you. I feel like we've got stuff to say.
Yeah, we can do full episodes.
I'd always prefer the full length, but I think for a bit of extra content, you know, mate, why not?
Yeah,
give the listeners what they want, just more of the Ben and Thomas.
More stuff. Yeah.
So yeah,
agreed.
Cheers. Thanks for stopping by.
Beautiful. Bye.
Have you endured many sleepless nights, tossing and turning, dreaming of a podcast where a man awkwardly attempts to waffle you to sleep whilst reviewing a film? Please head over to www.filmfloggers.com, where you can find out more information on the Waffler. I'll see you in your dreams or nightmares.